Alrighty, fight fans. So, UFC 316 has concluded, and the Sean curse has started, alright? For some reason, Sean Strickland, and now Sean O'Malley have a very close title defense. Arguably, they won, especially if you ask me, just say, in the title defense. But when they lose the belt and they get the rematch, they just get fucked up, alright? I don't know what happens with the Seans, but the Sean curse has started. For some reason, they just can't get the belt back after a very close title defense. However, with that being done, Sean O'Malley now has been fraud checked, officially, I'd say, and is now lost 2 fights. But with that being said, there's a lot of talk, especially from, maybe it's just the UFC commentators, but I see a lot of people just being like, oh, Sean O'Malley's fucked. What are we going to do with Sean O'Malley, now that he's not a champion, he's not this, aura, whatever. And I will say, he does kind of need to have aura, but he's not Leon Edwards to where he's dog shit, He's still good on the striking. He still had success on the feet against Merab, and maybe we'll see it in his next fight, but I'm making this video because I want to talk about the contenders / title shots people he needs to fight, alright? AKA the gulag that he needs to go through. So I've got a list of 5 fighters that I think are good matchups for Sean O'Malley. I've got them kind of in like least likely to most likely, or at least in terms of, I don't want to see them, but it's possible at number 5, and the number 1 being the one that I really want to see and that I think should actually realistically happen. Merab is now the 135 GOAT. He should take time off. He should just sit back and relax. There's no question now. But knowing him, you'll want to be active. But with all that being said, let's get into the fights here, because Sean O'Malley kind of shit the bed starting the Sean curse. But with that being said, let's get into number 5 and the 5th fighter that I think Sean O'Malley should fight coming off a loss. And this one would obviously be like a free layup and just to try to get him out of there, and it would be a strikers matchup, and that's a good way to showcase Sean O'Malley. Aiemann Zahabi. Now, you might be like, who the fuck is this guy? I thought this guy was a coach. Nope. That's his brother, Firas Zahabi, the guy who coached George St. Pierre. But if Amanda Nunes genuinely comes back, because it seems like that's what they're leaning towards too, we could see another UFC Canada, unfortunately. And if that does happen in my country, then we can see a 37-year-old Aiemann Zahabi be fed to Sean O'Malley and get one of them out of there, alright? And if you're wondering, currently right now, Aiemann Zahabi's sitting at number 11. So it's not like that far out of reach, especially if O'Malley moves down, because he just lost twice in a rematch. So you can move below Peter Yan, especially if Peter Yan wins the next one, if Umar gets a win, and if Corey's coming off the belt title loss or whatever it is, right? You can put him like right there, right? So I think you could put Sean O'Malley at like number 3, number 4 very slowly, over the course of a couple months, and then you could have number 4 versus number 11 and Aiemann Zahabi. If someone else loses, like Mario, Henry, something, bump down, or bump up Aiemann Zahabi, maybe top 10 versus a top 5 contender. Aiemann Zahabi is coming off a win over Jose Aldo, which is a big win, I know it's old Jose Aldo at the ripe old age of 50, according to Jose Aldo, but yeah, I mean, you could do Aiemann Zahabi. I don't mind that fight, honestly. Aiemann Zahabi versus Sean O'Malley. Now, I don't think it's the best fighter matchup, but it's a matchup to make. If they go to Canada, we get finally a good even if it's a fight night, for fuck's sake, alright? I just want a good fucking main event in Canada. I'm tired. Listen, I like DDP. DDP Sean Strickland won, where Sean Strickland gets fucking robbed. I'm not a fan, alright? So, and then we had Amanda Nunes versus some bum that she retired with. I don't give a fuck, right? So we could have Aiemann Zahabi versus Sean O'Malley as the co-main fight night main event, or you could do the co-main of a, like an actual card, UFC fucking 321 or something like that. I don't care. But yeah, I think it's realistic. I think it'd be interesting. Kind of a striker's delight, and it's a way to get O'Malley, in the win column if you are the UFC and you want O'Malley to really get like a win, to build up a win streak back to the title. Because Merab's probably going to reign dominantly since, that EPO is just going to keep on Keep on coming. You know, he's like Bane, fucking injecting the EPO into his veins. But moving on, we have the fourth one, which I don't mind, because this one, the fighter's coming off a big win over a certain legend that's kind of ruined his career off for retirement. You might know who I'm talking about based off that, and that is the Song Yadong. People forget, man, Song Yadong in the win column, coming off losses to Corey Sandhagen, Peter Yan. Hey, time to get O'Malley on that list, all right? I would probably pick O'Malley in the Song Yadong fight, but this fight would be fucking interesting. Song Yadong, great striker. He's really fun on the feet. He'll keep it competitive on the feet with almost anybody. The Henry Cejudo win, where he won clearly 3-0 in that 5-round main event that Henry Cejudo fucking quit. Song Yadong also cheats, so if he cheats, it could be interesting to see O'Malley maybe break the cheating or something, you know what I mean? But, yeah, this one could be fun. You know, Song Yadong, I think, is ranked... Where is Song Yadong on the Henry... He's number 5, you know? I don't mind that. Number 5 going against number 3 at the time. I don't mind that, to be honest with you. So I think Song Yadong would be a good sleeper pick to give Song Yadong a real test in competition. And if Song Yadong wins, that's a title shot, all right? And we need fresh matchups, okay? If Corey Sandhagen loses, we're going to be looking at Peter Yan too, you know? We're going to be looking at fucking... we're going to be looking at Umar too, you know? We're going to be looking at fucking... You know, a lot of shitty matchups, okay? God, I don't want to see. I want to see at least something fresh if it's a Merab fight, as I am now on the Merab team, okay? Until O'Malley wins the trilogy, okay? But, book it. Song Yadong, also a young prospect. I think it'd be interesting to see. I think it'd be fun to watch. So I think Song Yadong versus, Sean O'Malley, I think, would be an interesting fight. You could do it in China. They're having a UFC event in China soon. You know, you could do it for that. They'll probably return to China because of, like, Zhang Weili and shit. So, you know, you could do it with that as well. You know, it's not a bad idea. All right? Just saying, UFC. Okay? So I think it'd be, this way, you win and you win. If Sean O'Malley gets fucked up by Song Yadong, because Song Yadong's got crazy volume, Song Yadong can make a name off that. You know, he can build up, get a title shot, and we can at least see Song Yadong at the ripe age of 28, you know, get a title shot, right? But yeah, I think it'd be interesting. Or you can get O'Malley back in the win column. Moving on, we have Umar Nurmagomedov. Now, obviously Nurmagomedov, O'Malley would do numbers in terms of pay-per-view, so this would be a sick co-main. If you're looking at, like, a card, and we're looking at, like, October, Abu Dhabi time, Umar is very privileged. Sean O'Malley's pretty privileged, all right, in terms of getting that instant rematch and everything, even though I thought it was warranted. If we're looking at privilege for privilege here, all right, let's get rid of one of them. Am I right, guys? Who's with me, okay? So we either get rid of the guy who's only had one ranked win in the UFC, or the guy that everyone says had a gifted win to his one good ranked win. With Sean O'Malley beating Peter Yan in a very close decision. So you could do this. I think if you ran this would do numbers. If you're the UFC, this would be a sick fight to have. Both of them are coming off losses to Merab. Both of them could fight near October. Umar's probably waiting for October anyways because of Abu Dhabi around that time. But I think this fight would be sick. I think this is like a no fucking brainer. I think this one's probably the most realistic. I don't know if it's like the one I would necessarily want to see. Over a bunch. I want to see this one, but I don't know if I want to see it now. You know what I mean? Maybe I want to see O'Malley get back in a win column and Umar actually have another ranked win. You know, maybe a Rob Font, maybe a fucking Ayman Zahabi, something, right, for Umar, just so we can see what he looks like against other comp, because he was slept by Beksat Almakhan, but he woke up and shot a takedown, but he was slept, okay? So, you know, that kind of matters. So it'd be interesting to see how he goes against, like, a dangerous striker in O'Malley. But, yeah, I think this fight would be interesting. Moving on to number 2 in fighters that I want to see O'Malley fight. Peter Yan versus O'Malley 2. This is the lowest hanging fruit I could have found. Now, if you don't know, Peter Yan is fighting Marcus McGee, so he's got to get past Marcus McGee. I think he beats Marcus McGee. Peter Yan's the younger fighter. He's more in prime. He is a sick striker. He does have medical conditions from time to time, so that might lead him to being cooked. And Marcus McGee hits hard as fuck, so Peter Yan could get chinned. But it'd be interesting to see this fight again. I'd love for them to run it back, because this could be O'Malley go back into the rematch sort of talk, you know, after winning a rematch to losing a rematch to now winning another rematch, if you catch my drift, because he would have beat Cheeto in the rematch, lost to Merab, then lost to Merab in the rematch, and then he beats Peter Yan and proves that he's the #1 contender and the best striker at 135. So I think this fight would be interesting. I'd be very interested to see it. Again, I kind of hope this fight gets made next. Peter Yan versus O'Malley 2. Winner gets a #1. Like, if O'Malley wins, he then has to fight Umar. Like, perfect world, we do Peter Yan, right? And then we do Umar for O'Malley. Like, O'Malley's got to go through the ringer now. Make no mistake, I'm an O'Malley glazer. If he wants that third title shot, he needs to go through the fucking ringer. I'm talking 3-fight winning streak against Peter Yan, Umar Nurmagomedov, maybe one other name, and that one other name could be my #1 pick for this video. And the #1 pick that I would like to see O'Malley go against, coming off the loss to the champion, would be Corey Sandhagen. I do think Corey Sandhagen's fighting Merab next, probably closer to the October time. Merab's got a crazy schedule. Corey Sandhagen's ready to go. Corey Sandhagen, I don't think he's going to win. I just think Corey Sandhagen, he is really good. I don't think he's going to... I think he's just going to lose a 3-2 decision. Because Corey's problem is that he doesn't know how to finish a fight. Yes, he's got that sick spinning wheel kick on Marlon Moraes. Alright, he's got that spinning wheel kick on him. And he's got the flying knee on Frankie Edgar. But he does, like, sort of cripple in his own mind. And he also... he struggles to finish a fight, you know? His opponent kind of has to make a mistake. And Merab could make a mistake, but I do think Corey Sandhagen's going to lose. And if Corey Sandhagen loses, I think the perfect way you prove as O'Malley that you're ready to fight Merab again, because Merab's going to stay champ, let's be honest. You fight Peter Yan, and Peter Yan versus O'Malley 2. Or sorry. Yeah, this is my perfect world, but you could do it in any order. You know, you fight Peter Yan in a rematch, prove that you can beat Peter Yan. Maybe he wins 30-27. Maybe, honestly, if this is a main event, chef's kiss by the UFC. That'd be sick to see. You know, Peter Yan thrives in 5-round main events. O'Malley, also, he's good in 5-rounders because he's a former champ, but it is also like, this is where we get to see what would have happened in that first fight. So... O'Malley would have to get through Peter Yan, then you would send him to fight Umar Nurmagomedov probably after Umar gets 1 win, probably in October, and because it's a Nurmagomedov, we're going to have to wait till next October to see that, so he'd probably fight him in 2026 October, after beating Peter Yan, and then maybe December, January, we see Corey Sandhagen. January of 2027, I'm talking about. I'm planning very far ahead, you know, 2020... yeah, 7, right? You'd see Corey after a loss, maybe another loss to someone else. You know, these 3 names are what we need to see from O'Malley, I think, before we see a title shot. You know, unless these guys fall off, like, obviously Peter Yan could get knocked out by Mark McGee and never get on a win again. Umar could get fraud checked by fucking Rob Font, and Corey Sandhagen gets obliterated by fucking Song Yadong in a rematch. You know, like, this could all happen, right? But I do think if everything goes as, like, God's plan, you know, we see Peter Yan, Umar, and Corey fight Sean O'Malley before Sean O'Malley gets another title shot. I think that's just the way it goes, you know? I don't think Sean O'Malley can get a title shot unless he gets at least 2 of the 3 names here. Umar, Peter, or Corey. So if Corey beats Merab, he's got to beat Peter and Umar, I think, in my opinion, to get the title shot. That's where I'll say for sure, you know, even as a D1 O'Malley glazer, I'll say for sure that's what he needs to do. But yeah, I do think there's matchups for O'Malley. I do think people are shitting on him a little too much in terms of like, oh, O'Malley's fucked, there's nothing you can do with him. I mean, he's the only guy to almost finish Merab in the 5th, win against Merab in the 5th on the scorecards, I believe, and also stuff his takedowns. Like, he stuffed every single takedown in the second round in the rematch. And in the first fight, he stuffed a lot of takedowns as well. So, anti-grappling's pretty good, so I'd be very curious with this Umar matchup. But, yeah, that's kind of where I put O'Malley. Book those matchups. UFC, you can hire me as a new matchmaker, okay? You know, I'll take fucking minimum wage at this point. But with all that being said, I want to thank you for watching. And as always, maybe comment down below. All right, what you want to see O'Malley fight? You know, maybe another trilogy with Merab. You know, the rematch was just too close. It was a little bit of a fluke, if you ask me. But yeah, I want to thank you for watching. And as always, I hope you have a good day.